What's up, bots? How's it going? Or citizens? Or citizen bots? Both of you? All of you? How's it going, Ustad? How you feeling, man?
Yeah, man, lot on the agenda again. We again, due to technical and social difficulties, we could
Oh,
not make it
man.
last week. Yeah,
It was
but
more social
my
difficult.
when
Bro,
I
bro, bro. Let me preface this by saying I had this bad situation of a disease known as, God damn, what was it called? It was something to do with my inner ear and a viral infection. Okay?
so
The
you kind of
doctors
had
out
a
there.
near-death experience.
I was dead. I can say clinically dead for like 3 days.
You were
Okay?
buried.
I would have been buried. If I hadn't moved, I would have been buried, okay? It was so bad. I just couldn't get out of my bed, okay? And yeah, it was terrible.
Maybe you had COVID. Who knows?
It wasn't COVID, bro. It was not COVID, definitely not. COVID,
Okay.
the very first thing with COVID is your respiratory tract gets messed up, right? Nothing happened to my respiratory tract. I was breathing, no coughing, nothing, not a cough in sight, but it's something to do. It's called vestibular something, okay? I forgot what the thing is. It's some fancy schmancy. All the doctor bots out there can actually help us out if anybody is listening. But that thing, okay, seriously, screw it. Okay. Burn it and let it go to hell. Okay, that virus is horrible. Bro, I was out of commission for those 3 days, and after that it took me almost another week to get okay. To the point where I'm actually able to sit here and talk to you. Bro, I was scared to drive, bro. That's how bad it was. Okay, I was scared to drive to go to the grocery store. We ran out of milk. Okay, my son, my little boy,
In the fear of giving it to someone else, or
my little boy, my little son. You know, he was crying because we didn't have milk in the house, man. We had to go. I had to like
oh man,
I had to call in favors, bro, to get people to come and give me milk. Okay, it was that bad. I could not
it was that
drive.
bad, was it?
It was really bad. It was really bad.
I mean, there are certain strains. I think they do come out during this time of the year. You know, I mean,
Bro,
whenever
whatever
the
this strain
seasons
was.
change.
This train had it in for me, bro. It was like Soheb ko to abhi khatam
That's why a lot
karna
of
hai.
people take the flu shot, bro. A lot of people take that flu
Bro,
shot.
that thing is worse. Flu shot is worse than the flu. Okay, I know people who take the flu shot and they fall sick twice. They fall sick with the flu shot and then they get the flu and they fall sick again. So it's
I've
not
never
helping
taken
you.
a flu shot actually, so you know, and touch wood, I've never been sick, especially when the seasons change. I've never been sick during that time. I think most of this happens when you are exposing yourself during this critical time, going to people's houses, having dinners with them, or going out shopping a lot and coming in contact with other people. So
Bro.
I never go out. Like I stay at home.
just stay.
I just
that's
order
the answer.
shit. I just order shit
That's
online
the
and get
answer,
it
bots.
delivered.
You know, just embrace your inner bot and just
I'm a
order
hermit.
from order from other bots. You know, that's what you do. Become a complete bot. Okay, 100% proper citizen bot. Anyway, so bro, India went to the moon, bro. We did it.
Yeah, man, from India going to the moon.
Or we did it. You guys are still kind of.
I mean, you did it, obviously. You know, from a Pakistani perspective, it's no big deal. Have you seen that video of that Pakistani guy who? I will get to that later. But thing is that there is a, you know, the meme game in Pakistan is at an all-time high from the last couple of years. Meme game like software update, you know, it's a great, you know, analogy for, you know, that you need to change your mindset. You know, they call it software update. It started in the parliament, and from there it kind of, you know, took off and has become a meme. There are a lot of memes that take place in Pakistan, so there is a whole new meme that's come out just in regards to India going to the moon. Look, it's a great thing, I guess, you know, but while that is happening on the eastern part of the world, in the west, UFO, you know, declassified UFO information has been coming out from the Pentagon.
Oh, bro. I saw some of the videos, bro.
You know, between AI, between those Tic Tac videos, you know, where
Those
things
TikTok
are just
videos,
like
bro.
coming
I
out of the
saw those
water.
videos. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was like, is this real? Is this actually real? And it's like it's shot by some like weird, like, you know, secret military satellite, so they can't really say it's real or not real. Because, you know, it's shot by drones and stuff.
Like the last 2 weeks, it's like a compression of time. Like a lot of shit went, you know, just came down the tube, which is like we got UFOs, we got, you know, I mean, declassified UFO information. and the government is acknowledging it. We got whistleblowers about it. We got India landing on the moon. We got even Russia going to the moon. Wait for it. They crashed
Yeah.
there, but they didn't make it to the moon. Right?
They made it to
And-
the moon.
Yeah, they made it to the moon. Though, they landed on the moon. I mean,
They didn't land, they
crash
crashed,
landed doesn't
but yeah.
matter. Just like how our inflation is at the moment, which is kind of crashed. It's like, a lot is going on. Plus, in the middle of it, we usually talk about AI and robotics and that kind of stuff, right? And that also is going on. Mate, you saw that robot that cleans the toilets?
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I want to watch it actually.
Man, it's on Facebook and everywhere. But I think last week when I watched it, it was kind of trending on LinkedIn or whatever.
LinkedIn.
And we'll get through all of that. Yeah, out of all places, man, LinkedIn. Because I mean, think about it, right? It's the white collar workers who are the most fucking shit scared at the moment of losing their jobs because of AI, right? So
Is it a
the
Dyson
fear
robot?
is at an all time high, bro. Fear is an all time high.
Is it a Dyson robot? I hope not.
No, mate. It's like, mate. It's bigger than a Dyson robot. It's a nightmare.
Oh, okay.
It is definitely a nightmare fuel.
nightmare fuel, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's nightmare fuel. So let's start with
the Russians.
Russian moon landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start with the Russians, man. Let's see what they've been up to, right?
Yeah.
And couldn't be any better. So
What's
if
that?
I
We need
look
to have
at
that soundtrack, man. Lost Force, so therefore.
one of those like Soviet Union songs.
Soviet Union songs, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, man, we need that at the back. Yeah, that the one with the whole choir and everything.
Yeah.
There is
exactly.
actually an interesting tidbit. There's actually an Australian during COVID, or I think just before COVID, around that time, there was an Australian band of like tradies and workers who used to sing all these Russian songs, Russian Soviet era songs, like all the the hammer and the sickle and shit like that. And they sang those songs. They didn't even know that what they meant. I mean, they knew that they were like for the motherland or whatever. They became so popular. They became a popular sensation in Russia that they were flown down there. Bro.
Oh,
They
God.
actually went down there, performed in Russia. Yeah, they used to and they all had like big beards and like they're all in like tradie uniforms and all that, and like they're standing and singing all these like songs, and they went viral, bro. Fucking all of Russia started watching them, and I think they were like just a small group of mates. Working on building all these houses and plumbing and shit like that. So, but Russia's first lunar mission in decades has ended in failure. Wow. So
Lunar
I think
20.
everybody's kind of got into this whole space race, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
America has outsourced it, privatized it. So you got SpaceX and all these other companies who are racing to get to further than moon, which is Mars and all that, or getting things into space. The other one is India, obviously, and Russia and China. They all, I think, have been launching satellites, have been going into the vacuums of space to see and explore, basically.
It's because I think
It's kind of interesting.
The weird thing is that both the Russian Luna 25 and the Indian Chandrayaan 3, that's the name of the craft, right?
Chandrayaan 3.
So both of them were targeting the south pole of the moon, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
why are you targeting the south pole of the moon? But then there's like, because there's rumors that there's ice frozen there. So technically, where there's ice, there's water. Although I don't know what are we gonna do with frozen moon water. I have no idea, but apparently it's quite exciting to find ice.
Yeah, a lot of people are in the space race. Yeah, a lot of people in the space race, but I'm not sure that why this time has become like this is the time where everybody's trying to get back into the.
It's okay, bro. See, India and Russia, they're just targeting the moon. America is like, we've already been to Mars. What are you talking about? We're like
I
way
think
beyond.
Yeah, they want to go to Mars. Yeah, so I mean, it does say here after 47 years. I mean, at least they landed. I mean, they crashed, but at least something. So after 47 years,
somebody
but
must
look,
have
I mean,
lost.
if you look at India as well,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at India as well, right, it's the third one. The first two did not land. If you think about it, right? So I think it takes time to get back into the groove of things. Spend a couple of mils, here and there.
Get them calculations
And,
correct. Just make sure that the vectors are all right.
But I think the important thing is that they all have been working on it for quite a while.
Yeah.
The space program for India, for Russia, for China, all the people who have been trying to get into it, they have been 10 years in the making, all of them, including the outsourcing of, if you think about SpaceX also kind of, started about 8-9 years ago. So the only difference is that I was watching an interview, I think it's one of those documentaries on Netflix, where the head of head of NASA, in her interview, she said that they've sent about 150 astronauts or 170, I think, astronauts, around that figure. Don't quote me on it. 150 to 170, I think. And the main takeaway from that conversation was that she was having was that they spend $1 billion per astronaut. If they actually
Billion?
look at the complete,
Like a bee?
yeah, $1 billion, 1 billion per person.
Is that
going up
adjusted
in
for
space.
inflation, or is that like straight up like 1 billion per person?
From the beginning of the space program when it started till now, if you do a complete calculation
from
of
the
all the money they've
1960s.
spent,
So from the
Yeah.
1960s until now.
from the first mission, from the first Apollo mission, as soon as so they've spent $1 billion. So yes,
billion.
obviously back then they were not spending billions, obviously millions, but inflation adjusting and everything put together, if you look at the overall cost of everything put together, it's about, just to simplify it, she said it was $1 billion per person. So they sent about 150 people up in space,
150 billion.
regardless whether they went to the moon or not. Yeah, that's the bill they put it, right? So they were paying $1 billion to get a man in space. Right now, you saw that other meme that's going on, I think, in obviously, on the Indian side of Twitter, or X as they call it now. I saw a picture
Dude,
of
I'll still call it
Interstellar,
Twitter, but yeah.
the poster. Yeah, Twitter, there's a picture of Interstellar and there's a picture of Chandrayaan, where Chandrayaan spent like 75 mil and Interstellar cost 150 million to make the movie. So they're comparing it to the movie. The movie cost 150 mil to make, right? So
The Indians got
interesting.
just got that cheaply. That's all. Jayega,
Yeah,
masla nahi
so I
karega,
think
masla nahi.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
go
So I
there.
think that if you think about it, Indians going to the moon, it is a great achievement because they've landed a rover and everything there, and it's taking photographs, and they've taken photographs of the moon, they've taken photographs of Earth. You can see the craters on the moon, and
It's currently sleeping.
I
though.
guess now,
the rover. The Indian
yeah,
rover is currently sleeping because there's no sunlight, right? So can't use energy.
yeah.
It's gonna be sleeping until like
Yeah, so I
the
think-
22nd.
But I think that it is still an achievement in the sense that within a country that has been just independent from the British colonial masters only 75 years ago, post 75 years now, they've been basically. I saw these pictures where they have been. There were pictures in black and white when the original space program began. They were actually hauling equipment on bullock carts. They do not have they don't have proper transport, so they were using bullock carts to actually take it from one place to another. So the Indian space program, Chandrayaan, it's recent, but it's been in the making for decades, right?
Do you think
It's
do you think
only-
they use think they use bullock carts today to haul Chandrayaan and its bits and pieces? I don't know. Like maybe,
I think I personally I believe that the Indian psyche, the culture, and the scientific approach that they have is about they're in that phase at the moment where they use something known as jugaad. For people who don't understand what jugaad is, basically any which way, if it can work, make it work.
the best way you can explain jugaad
And
is when Malcolm X says, by any means necessary. That's what jugaad
by any
is.
means necessary.
That is
right?
basically what
Yeah.
jugaad is.
So it is to some people it has a funny connotation, to some people it has a negative connotation. To me, it's just a positive connotation. The whole idea is that you're thinking outside the box, and it is not a temporary fix. It is a fix, and it's not seen as a temporary. It is a fix, and it will stay in place for as long as it needs to be, unless something better comes along. Right? The whole idea it is a very different approach from if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The whole idea is, okay, it's broke. Let's fix it with something a little bit better incrementally until something else comes along. So it is a very different approach that has been, trickled down due to cultural and social norms. So I think that they will use whatever it takes to get it up there and in an affordable, efficient manner. So, but I think that getting a man on the moon is a very very high possibility. I mean, we might have an alien attending a press conference on the way things are going. If you think about it,
You know that joke
right? So
that that sketch that what's his name, Dave Chappelle did, right, when he was doing Chappelle show, where he's like, oh yo, this is Rob, everything, all the good stuff that we have in the world is because of him. Reverse, we did the PlayStation, it's because of him we got the PlayStation, it's because of him we got, like, all these advances in human existence, in human life. And then he's like, well, now the world is going to come to an end, so me and Rob, we're going to kick it. Like, he's basically just going to fly away with Rob. So I don't know. It's kind of like the whole UFO thing, the way it unfolded, right? The way, like, everybody just coming out of the woodwork trying to explain, oh gee, there's this UFO and there's like all this footage. Like there's this footage of like this airplane that's being chased by three little Tic Tacs, and when the Tic Tacs converge, it just freaking vanishes, like on video. It just goes
the Tic
poof,
Tac,
like,
I think the Tic Tac videos were there before as well, but now I think it's a different
Yeah.
video, or it just they. I mean, the main thing is this: way, a lot of these videos were leaked earlier, or leaked earlier, right? And now they're confirming that yes, these videos are real, right? So
I mean,
you're gonna watch
are
a
they
bit
real?
of clipping. Yeah,
I'm
man,
still
that's where my skepticism as well.
I'm still kind of like, is it real, or is it like some elaborate, like really elaborate hoax by the US government to just go, yeah, might, the aliens are here. Nobody in the world knows
The
what they have to
idea
do about it.
of the idea we're living in a time where truth does not really matter. We're living in a time where you could flood all the avenues of information outlets
Yeah.
like news, the internet, social media, whatever
Everything. Yeah.
that is coming down, everything flooded with so much information that the real crux of things that people should be focusing on, the core parts, like the election, like in Australia we have the voice, right? Hand on heart, I still do not understand what the voice is. I went on the internet, someone is saying it's a 20-page document, someone is saying it's a one-page document. Our prime minister is saying, Albanese, he said that it's a 20-page document,
Yeah.
or he said it's pretty long and he didn't have time to read. And then on Sky TV, they're saying someone said no, it's a one-page document.
No, I
he
think
actually
the-
showed it.
I
He
think the
said
Uluru
it's a
statement is
single
a one
page.
page. No, the Uluru statement from the heart is one page document. The actual Uluru statement, which I guess it became the catalyst for this voice thing. That is a one page document. But I think the
Yeah, but
actual
when you call
voice,
what is the voice, it's supposed to be one page. That's it.
I think the voice itself
one-pager.
is like 20 pages document. I don't know.
That's the thing, man. Nobody knows how long it is. So it's super confusing. It is super confusing. You ask around, a lot of people, a lot of the CEOs of big companies who are pushing for the voice, most people are not able to explain in a very simplistic manner that, hey, you know what? This is what the voice means. And now there are videos coming out. So Jacinta Price, and now there's Mundine, the boxer. So he Anthony Mundine, I think his name is, and he was a very famous football player who turned into a boxer, and he's Australian Aboriginal. All right, and he said that do not support the voice, do not vote yes for the voice.
What?
Right? And then there are a bunch of Aboriginals.
So these people are Aboriginals. So these
saying-
are like Aboriginals who are saying do not support.
they are
this
saying
thing
do
'cause
not
it's
vote for the voice.
discriminatory.
Do not support. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping us, and we already have a voice in the parliament, right? And then there are videos from NITV. NITV is a local government-funded channel in Australia, which is basically Aboriginal content.
Is our
and
Doordarshan,
Aboriginal
basically.
affairs. Yeah, it's our Doordarshan, kind of like a counterpart to SBS, I think, right? And in that one, they've gone around and asked people, other Aboriginals, that have you heard about the voice? What do you think? And they said, nobody knows anything about the voice here. We don't even know. All right. So in UFO news, I'm just going to share this clip here.
Oh yeah, let's do this.
Enthusiasts, good news for you, because the United States Department of Defense has announced that they are launching a website strictly to provide updates on unidentified anomalous phenomena, also known as UFOs. Pentagon spokesperson Patrick Ryder said this website will be a one-stop shop of information so the public can access all declassified videos, photos, and updates on recent findings. A press release read, this website will provide information.
It's like
photos
if
and
you go to the beginning of the video, right? If you just go right at the beginning, she is looking at the teleprompter and she's not able to believe what she's about to say. Okay, like she's got that face, you know. She's like, I can't believe I'm reading this. You know,
I can't believe I'm reading this. Yeah, and now they don't call it UFO; they call it UAP,
unidentified anomalous
UAP
something.
Phenomena.
Yes, you know.
Unresolved UAP.
Because UFO has a certain what's the word for it? A certain kind of conspiratorial, a certain kind of it's marred by a lot of this. The past, the
spooky,
culture,
crazy
X-Files,
people, you know,
all
like
that.
You know, the whole Area 51
exactly.
stuff.
So
you
they
know,
had
like,
so of course they had to call it
they
UAP.
had to change it,
you
bro.
know,
They had to change it.
Yeah.
Cases as they are declassified and approved for public release. The website's other content includes reporting trends and a frequently asked questions section, as well as links to official reports, transcripts, press releases, and other resources that the public may find useful, such as applicable.
I love how it says
statutes.
the public might find it useful. Fuck yeah, you're gonna find it useful. Like, but this is the thing, bro. I mean, why now? That's the question. Why now? You know? And I'm even waiting like for Joe Rogan and these
Bro,
guys
you
to
gotta
speak
understand
about it
one
as
more
well.
thing.
They
One
haven't
more
really
thing,
gone
right?
through.
Another thing is, the USA is probably at this current stage, right? The US is probably having its worst case of, everybody hates their president. Okay, in the US,
Yeah,
not just
the president
everybody
is
in the
fucking
US
useless.
hates their president. The people outside are making fun of USA's president. Okay,
I mean, Trump was asked, right, why didn't he go for the debate? So there are debates that are happening on his side of the party. So to get nominated as the candidate to represent the party, you have to basically debate among all the candidates on that side first before you can go up against.
what did
Biden,
Trump say?
Trump, his polling was like he was 70 points ahead of everybody else. Like, you know.
So he's like, what's the point? I don't know.
So he was like, what's the point? So he didn't rock up. He didn't go. And then he went for an interview with Tucker Carlson, who is a former
on Twitter.
host
Yeah.
of-
He must have gone on.
He's like the Larry King of like, you know, Fox. He was at Fox News.
Yeah.
He got fired from Fox News because he, you know, started questioning the government, started questioning a lot of things that were against Fox's agenda. Anyway, so Tucker Carlson is interviewing him. He said like, and the interview came out at the same time when the candidate debate came out, and more people ended up watching the interview between Trump and Tucker Carlson than the entire debate. And in that debate, right, in that interview, he said that if our president is so useless, he's like the useless president in the history of United States. He said that when I go up against him, I'm gonna destroy him. I'm gonna bury him. That's what he said. And he will bury him. Trump is gonna bury this guy, bro. So they'll have to shoot him.
I don't
They'll
know.
have to shoot him. They'll have to put him. And have you seen Trump's mugshot? Have you seen Trump's mugshot? It sold
AI
like
one.
500,000. 500. No.
The real one.
I'll show you the Trump mugshot. Oh my, you know, they took a mugshot of him because they're trying to indict him, but they've been putting all these like bullshit cases against him. I mean, he says they're bullshit cases. And
Wait, now I remember the mugshot. Yeah, I remember the mugshot. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. You do. So,
No, I remember. It's like this one.
Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
This one.
I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen.
So he's like staring at the camera, and he's got like this whole like made in America kind of a thing. The final showdown kind of a look to him. You know, he's angry.
He's got that.
You know,
evil
he's got
villain
this
look. You know.
Yeah. He's got like the whole Mogambo thing going on, right? And he's like, you know, it's like you fucked with the wrong guy. I'm coming for you. You know, he's got that whole look on him. So I mean, dude, like, you know, I think a lot is about to go down. So I think this whole declassified UFO thing, the submarine thing, remember?
Yeah, yeah,
It ran for a whole week.
yeah.
And
Pushing it.
James Cameron was saying on day one that it's gone. It probably it imploded on impact. It's gone. Everybody's dead. Stop looking for them and stuff like
Stop,
that. Right?
stop,
You will
yeah,
not
stop
find
giving
any
them
debris
hope.
and
It's not. There's no
yeah.
hope.
So it went for a week, right? So it kind of feels like there's a lot of newsreels that are running in order to, get
Cover
the
up.
public's attention. It's the art of misdirection.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, no, that's what
All
I
right, let's
feel as
have a
well.
listen.
Aircraft, balloon, and satellite tracking sites. Now, this move from the Pentagon
When she said balloon, you remember balloon?
The Chinese
as in,
balloon, yeah.
Remember the Chinese balloon? There you go. So
comes after there was a push for more transparency on research and operations into UFOs or UAPs. It came after David Grush, a former intelligence officer in the Air Force and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, appeared at a House Oversight Committee hearing in late July. He, along with two other whistleblowers, made various allegations to Congress, claiming the US has been concealing a multi-decade program to capture UFOs. David Grush said the US government has long known about a secret UFO program and have in their possession a non-human spacecraft, which includes dead pilots. Take a look at some of the hearing.
Do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries.
Biologics came with some.
The other thing
The
is
language
this, right?
is also
It kind
so
of
tactical,
looks-
bro. It's like it's so fake. Like it looks so fake.
Tactical
as well.
language. It looks so fake as well. It's like someone handed Miss Mace,
It's like
a bunch of
it's
documents.
like, exactly. It's like somebody handed.
And she's
Miss Mace-
laughing about it and she's giggling about it. What
she's
the fuck,
she's
bro?
on her laptop, right? That's a freaking Mac, okay? She's on her laptop, okay? And then she's like, she's probably being fed those documents from behind somewhere, okay? Where she's been like, oh, you're gonna ask him this next, or you're gonna ask him that next, and you're gonna ask him that next, and it's this just stinks, bro.
Human biologics.
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Pause it,
And
pause
was
again,
this
pause it. See,
documentary
okay,
evidence
so he
video-
can't. So check this out, right? So when she asked him a question about, oh, do you know if somebody actually like found these aircraft? He's like, well, I can't speak on that publicly. Then she goes, okay, I can't ask you when that happened. And then she goes, oh, were there any non-human like biologics? And he's like, oh yeah, they're definitely non-human. So you can't talk about the spacecraft, but you can definitely talk about the shit that was in the spacecraft. Like, dude, like what the hell? Like, what is this bullshit? Like it's bro. I think
This is some A grade prime bullshit.
this
bro,
is like some
going
A
on.
grade. Bro, all
this
the
is A-grade
American
stuff.
tax, all the
And the
American
media just
taxpayers,
eating it up.
all the American taxpayers have paid for this, bro. This thing that's happening right now, all the American taxpayers, yo, American people, oji, Ameriki, bhai log, you American bots have paid for this. this is your taxpayers' money that's going to fund these people sitting over here. That lady in the back in that zebra print, whatever the hell she's wearing, who's looking super bored. She was paid to sit over there on your taxpayer dollars, bro. Oh my god, like this is hilarious. This is just bad. This is just so bad. It's so obvious as well. Like these guys are giggling and making fun and
Witness,
stuff.
like how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Now, David Grush said he couldn't provide any more information to members of Congress because of an open whistleblower reprisal case
Bro, pause
against
for a
him.
second. It's
This
so
prompted
bizarre,
6 members
right?
of
Okay, it's like, okay, these people are supposed to be the adults in the room, right? These people are supposed to be the people who are supposed to tell us, okay, shit's going down. This is what we're gonna do. Everything is gonna be fine. Calm down. But they themselves are like, oh yeah, we got them UFOs. We got them, alien biologics, and we got them like ships, and we don't know what the hell we're doing, mate. It's like, bro, this is scary to watch, bro. This is like, it's like the adults have become. It's like it's like the lunatics have taken over the asylum. That's what this situation is right now. It's like, who in their right mind went, yeah, let's go the
And
UFO
all
route,
of this,
mate.
right? What it is, and all of this, what it is creating is creating an existent crisis. I mean, the crisis is already there of existentialism,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of
Just
adding
amping
fuel
it
to the
up now.
fire,
It's just amping it up. And for
Congress to sign a
what?
letter to request more information of Inspector General Thomas Monheim. Republican Tim Burchett tweeted, during the UAP hearing,
Republican
David
Tim
Grush
Burchett.
testified he could not provide specific details about UAP crash retrieval programs or reverse engineering programs, but said the intelligence community Inspector General could. So my colleagues and I wrote to him to ask for
Thank
details.
you. Somebody
the
with
Pentagon
brains.
has
God damn
denied
it,
that
finally.
there has been a cover-up and that investigators have not discovered any verifiable information to substantiate claims that any programs regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials have existed.
Okay,
in
thank
the
goodness.
past
You
or
American
exist
people, thank
currently.
goodness you've got some adults in your actual government. Some people who are actually thinking properly and asking the right questions. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
That
so
was-
I can't take any of it seriously at the moment. I mean, a lot of people might be thinking that UFOs are here or whatever, but I think it's just
Rogan will
classic,
have a field day with
misdirection.
this, bro. Joe Rogan's gonna have a field day with this, bro. He's gonna be like,
Yeah, I think for that he needs to bring on Eddie Bravo.
He needs to bring on
Sheffer,
Eddie
and all
Bravo,
those,
bro.
all those guys. Yeah, yeah. Eddie Bravo's gonna be like, fuck, I don't believe anything.
I don't
anything
believe
to say.
anything.
I can't see it. I don't believe it.
no,
That's
I don't
it.
see it. I don't believe it.
Dude, one of our mutual friends,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think
Yeah, I know what you're
he
talking about.
told me that he does not even believe that Indians went to the fucking moon. Don't worry about all of this.
Just for
He's like,
clarification,
He's like, have you seen that
Indian.
footage?
He's Indian himself.
He's
okay?
Indian as well. He's Indian.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
dude. There are a lot of Indians. There are a
Who
lot
don't
of
believe
them.
that we went
Come
to
on,
the
in a
moon.
billion plus population, you gotta have a few male who do not believe in this thing, right? They're saying it's all made up.
नहीं गए जी सब बना के रखे सब वीडियो शीडियो पे लगा के रख दिए कुछ कहीं नहीं गए कोई भी nobody went anywhere.
Exactly. A lot of people are saying like, well, it's just a video. Like, how do we know?
It's literally just an animation, that's what it is. It's like a really cheaply made, really blurry 3D. It's like somebody
With all
went into
the-
Blender and just spent like 10 minutes
think
just
about it,
designing
right?
this thing.
Why is it the direct correlation of the space program, the success of the space program, is somehow always linked to the maturity of their movie industry. You look at the Americans, they have a great movie industry. Look at the Russians, they are able to make good movies as well. Like during the Soviet era, they were on top of their game. They made a lot of propaganda stuff, but they have the technical ability, you see, to shoot all that stuff, right? And so does India. It's the biggest movie industry in the world. So, with the movies like Bahubali and Triple R, which is a fucking global phenomenon now, you think they can't? They can.
They can't doctor.
No,
like,
not questioning the ability of the scientists and the young people. Who
there's gonna be
are
some
on the
people.
floor
There's gonna
trying
be
to
some
get there.
bots. There's gonna be some bots who are gonna look at this. They're gonna be like, "These motherfuckers, मैं दिखाएगा, मैं बनाएगा, I'll show them, how this thing is, how they're bullshitting me, right?
So I mean, the skepticism, a healthy amount of skepticism is definitely required for this kind of stuff. And I, at the moment, do not think it's. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Bro,
whether they did go to the moon or not.
I'm gonna
too
come out.
hard.
I'm gonna come out and say it. Okay, Indians most likely, probably went to the moon. Okay, I can
Yeah,
live with
that's
that.
what I think so as
If
well.
the Indians went to the moon, I'll
It's
be
just
like,
that the
okay,
man part is going to be hard to believe, when it does happen.
yeah,
which it will
when we
happen.
see Narayan from Telangana go to the moon, okay, and land over there and say some Telugu stuff and whatever, okay, then I'll be like, oh, hang on a second, buddy, did this really happen? Did Mr.
I'm
Narayan
telling you, the
actually end
biggest
up?
problem is going to be when that person lands and he speaks in a language, maybe Hindi, or whatever, people are gonna shit fucking all over that thing, because they'll be like, oh, why did that guy go and say that? He should have said this or not said that. It was
Yeah.
too secular, it was too religious, or
Yeah,
not
yeah,
too
yeah,
religious, not too secular. Some
Yeah.
shit's gonna happen, you see.
Yeah, yeah, of
or
course.
maybe that cunt is gonna land and he's gonna talk in English, which is gonna even be a
It's gonna
worse
make it
disaster.
even
right?
worse.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
So,
Modi government will completely disown the guy. They'll be like, get out of the country, mate. You don't like this country, get the hell out of our country.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's get.
I think more
more.
on that. What I'll do is not on the moon, but slightly, on while this whole UFO or UAP and the moon thing was going on, another thing happened, which is also pretty interesting. But again, I don't know how much, but listen to it.
Now, it is a question that has puzzled scientists for centuries. Are we alone on the third rock from the sun, or is there life out there in the infinite abyss? Scientists at Harvard University say they've taken one step closer to that answer, claiming to have recovered material that originated outside our solar system for the first time in history. The tiny spheres were discovered at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. And Professor Avi Loeb, known as the world's foremost alien hunter, says they may even be the debris of a UFO. But not everyone is entirely convinced. To find out more, let's talk to the man himself, Professor Avi Loeb, author of Interstellar, The Search for Extraterrestrial Life and Our Future Beyond Earth. Thank you so much for making time for us. And please explain this to an idiot, because you are, when it comes to things like this, in the simplest terms, what you found and what it means.
Thanks for having me. Well, about a decade ago, US government satellites spotted a fireball from an object that collided with Earth, roughly half a meter in size, and it moved very fast, in fact, faster than 95% of the stars in the vicinity of the sun. And moreover, it was also tougher than all the space rocks reported by NASA over the past decade. So that raised the possibility that maybe it's a Voyager-like meteor, an object that resembles the spacecraft that we launched. And the question is whether it's technological in origin or natural. So we went to the Pacific Ocean, collected droplets that were melted off the surface of the object and landed on the ocean floor, about 2 kilometers deep. And we brought them back to Harvard University, 700 of them, and studied their composition. And amazingly, over the past 2 months, we realized that they are made of a composition that is very different from solar system materials. And therefore, we conclude that this object came from outside the solar system, a very different environment. And of course, to figure out if it's indeed technological or natural, we need to find bigger pieces. So that will be the subject of a future expedition.
How does this differ from other reports we've heard of kind of sightings and various things? There was this House of Representatives Oversight Committee that we had just a few weeks ago. Whistleblowers talking about the US government covering up knowledge from the public about extraterrestrial particles or objects. Again, very simply explain to us how what you've discovered is something new.
Well, the difference is that we found the materials, we found the evidence, we are sharing it publicly, whereas the discussion in the Congress was all about hearsay. There was a person who heard from 40 other people that there are these programs, but he hasn't seen the material.
Exactly. So I think that this is where, I'll just stop this right here. And the main thing is this, right? If you think about it, all of it is happening in tandem. All these,
it's like an orchestrated, perfectly orchestrated series of events.
Things are being found at the bottom of the ocean, right? And they're challenging each other.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah, that guy's like, no, it's hearsay.
How can I believe you? And in the great Russians, the Russian Tsars, okay, the Russian establishment, the Bolshevik Revolution, and then after that, when the dictators who came into being, especially the Kremlin, right? They have a term for this thing. It's known as shape-shifting.
Shape-shifting. Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
And Adam Curtis has a documentary. I'll see if I can find a link and I'll put it on there. What shape-shifting is basically the idea that you create an environment of so much massive amount of confusion that that people, I think this clip just explains it better, and I think this is where we would end this whole saga,
UFO saga.
Today's part of the of podcast as well.
But in Russia, there was a group of men who had seen how this very lack of belief in politics and dark uncertainty about the future could work to their advantage. What they had done was turn politics into a strange theatre, where nobody knew what was true or what was fake any longer. They were called political technologists, the key figures behind President Putin. They had kept him in power, unchallenged, for 15 years. Some of them had been dissidents back in the 1970s and had been powerfully influenced by the science fiction writings of the Strugatsky brothers. 20 years later, when Russia fell apart after the end of communism, they rose up and took control of the media. And they used it to manipulate the electorate on a vast scale. For them, reality was just something that could be manipulated and shaped into anything you wanted it to be.
I want to watch this movie now, man. Seems interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those Tchaikovsky. It's what's the name of great Russian director, bro? He made a couple of good movies. He made Solaris.
Oh, Solaris. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that
I
guy
get it now.
Tchaikovsky,
Yeah.
something. You know.
Yeah. Well, I know who you're talking about now. Okay, so he made this movie.
This
go
other
find out.
movie. Yeah, he made another movie. The name of it starts with S. I can't remember, but it's a beautiful movie. Which I think this scene is from that, where there's a bunch of scientists, and this guy, he's like a driver or someone who can take you to this zone where the gravity doesn't actually work properly or something, and he tells them that, look, I will take you there, if you are willing to pay me, right? And then he takes them there. It's beautiful. Yeah, great movie. Yeah.
And Andrei Tarkovsky.
Andrei Tarkovsky, yeah.
Andrei Tarkovsky, yeah.
But then a technologist emerged who went much further, and his ideas would become central to Putin's grip of power.
So essentially, if you
was called Vladislav Surkov.
stop it for a second. So essentially, the whole thing is mass confusion, right? And then because of mass confusion, the people will get into a state where they will be willing to accept even the most absurd answer, as long as it is presented to them in a manner that actually seems to explain away everything, right? That's what this whole idea is.
Right.
And I mean, not to get religious or anything, but even in our texts, right, in our books and everything, it said that there will come a time when there'll be like
a lot of the
confusion.
monotheistic religions have that.
Yeah.
All the monotheistic religions have it.
Yeah. So it's like
Judaism has
a
it,
time will
Islam
come.
has it,
A time will come when there'll be like so much confusion that people will be just willing to accept anything and everything, even if it's like the most.
Everything and everything.
Yeah, that's why that's why they say that.
And mass confusion as well. You'll not be able to tell what is real either. So what's the truth either.
Yeah, so that's I think what we're trying.
But
I
think it's interesting to see where they've actually come from, where it actually all comes from. So this will explain
Surkov
that.
came originally from the theatre world, and those who have studied his career.
So he's come from the theater world, right? So something like during the
He'd be
Nazis when the
dancing
propaganda was taking
and
place. Yeah, during the Nazi era, also it was the same thing, right? I mean, they had Gottlieb, I think, who was making all these movies, and there was that. I think it was Hitler's wife or Hitler's lover, who also was the director of the movie, which was, I think, the Third Reich or The Triumph of the Will, the first great propaganda movie ever made. The Triumph
of the Will, yeah.
And in that one, they turned Hitler into a god using that movie. The way it was shot and edited and everything. It was epic in scope, and
it had
What
those
he did
massive
was take
armies and
avant-garde
everything.
ideas from the theatre and bring them into the heart of politics. Surkov's aim was not just to manipulate people, but to go deeper and play with and undermine their very perception of the world, so they are never sure what is really happening. Surkov turned Russian politics into a bewildering, constantly changing piece of theatre. He used Kremlin money to sponsor all kinds of groups, from mass anti-fascist youth organizations to the very opposite, neo-Nazi skinheads.
Fund
liberal
both
human
sides,
rights
bro. That's what.
who then
Fund
attacked
both of them.
government.
Let them fight it out.
Surkov even backed whole political parties that were opposed to President Putin. But the key thing was that Surkov then let it be known that this was what he was doing, which meant that no one was sure what was real or what was fake in modern Russia. As one journalist put it, it's a strategy of power that keeps any opposition constantly confused. Ceaseless shape-shifting that is unstoppable because it is indefinable.
Right. Let's just stop it here. I think that clearly explains enough of what his shape shifting is supposed to be.
Yeah, and the power remains where it needs to remain because people are just all like just looking left, right.
Yeah, it's scary.
Up,
it's
down,
scary
but
to
nobody
actually
thinks
have
straight up.
something new. You're better off with the devil you know than the devil you don't. I get it. Far out, man. See, but that's the thing. It's like there's so much shape shifting happening right now. Nobody really knows like ho kya raha hai? Like what's actually happening. Do we have aliens? Do we actually have aliens, or is it like just some?
I mean, like the whole Bob Lazar thing, for example, right? I have no doubt.
Bob Lazar.
First of all, for people who do not
For the bots who don't know Bob Lazar
is, yeah. So the bots can just go out onto this invention known as the internet. Type Bob Lazar, Joe Rogan, and you will find it. So Joe Rogan reached out to Bob Lazar and actually interviewed him, and on that podcast, Bob Lazar mentioned that he actually have seen alien technology.
Yeah.
And I think he also mentioned that he's seen aliens as well. But, he went through a warehouse and they told him, do not reveal this information to anybody or something like that. So now Eric Weinstein, who is another, a professor, I think at Stanford or I think MIT, can't remember. One of those professors, he has his own podcast. He has appeared multiple times on Lex Friedman, on other people's podcasts. And he recently came on Chris Williamson's podcast and he said, he was talking about this whole UFO, papers being disclosed, information being disclosed. And he talks about this whole thing that maybe people who are whistleblowing have been made to believe that this is what the information is. So they have been brainwashed.
Yeah.
They have been basically misdirected into thinking that this is alien technology or something like that. So everything is up for debate, the way things are going. So it's classic shape-shifting going on at the moment. And it will continue to go on like this.
And this is shape-shifting that's like decades in the making, right? So it's like decades and billions. I mean, think about it this way. If, like you said, NASA and the American government can actually spend $1 billion for one astronaut to send one man into space, then what is like a couple of 100 million to confuse the shit out of people just so that they can maintain power? It's nothing. It's like a poof. It's like a dust in the wind. It's something as insignificant as that. Especially to one of the world's largest economies. 350 million people. One of the largest, most profitable, most powerful economies in the world. Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, same thing. Like you said, even with the India, this Chandrayaan 3 thing that just went up. Did it really go up? Or was it just, the collective, I guess, thought of like 1 billion people to go, we'll just send something we'll pretend it's all real.
Exactly. So I think
I hope they actually did it. At least the Indian look, I'll tell you one thing, right? The Indians, right, they have a hard life, all right? They have a tough where the Indians and
I think they did
Pakistanis-
it as well. I think my skepticism is going to rise when they finally get a person on the moon, and I'll be interested in how they did that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. I mean, same thing with me. When it comes out, eventually because bro, eventually India will figure it out. They will figure out a way to send a man onto the moon. There आएंगे दुरुस्त आएंगे it'll happen. There will be a situation where India will claim that they've sent a man to the moon, okay, and then that person will somehow
the
come
question
back,
remains, right?
or he might die in while he's coming back.
Well, the question then remains, right? What's the point? Why go?
Why
Why
go?
go to space? Why go to Earth?
Don't know.
Why go to
Show
moon?
off.
What's on the moon? To
brownie
colonize
points.
it, or I mean, in the past, definitely. In the past, definitely, it has been all about
Bragging rights.
supremacy, right? Showing that we are a better country than you, or our country is the best, and our system is the best, and
Yeah.
our economy is the most powerful, and our system works better than your system. Completely understandable, but
Even
question
that's
now remains.
That's actually that doesn't make sense to me at all either as well. Like why? Why?
I
would
mean,
you
in the
bankrupt-
80s, that's what the whole space race was.
You know,
for.
there's this whole
and that
whole,
bankrupted Russia.
Yeah, there's that whole thing about that the Americans didn't actually go to the moon. Like they just basically faked it so that they can
Yeah.
bankrupt Russia. There's that conspiracy theory.
And now
floating
that's
around.
what they're saying about this whole thing. Now that's what they're saying about that's
India
what
going
they're
to the
saying
moon?
about this whole the UAP thing,
Oh,
the
okay.
whole alien technology and all that. Now the Chinese and everybody they're gonna be worried that hold on a second, do they have alien technology? Are they using it? Are they going to go to war with us? Are they going to attack us? Are they
With
going to
alien
take over?
technology?
Are they reading our minds with alien technology? We need to develop alien technology. So
we need to develop alien technology.
yeah. Get in touch with some aliens, mate. Get out there.
Find
Get
me
out
some
there, you
aliens.
cunts. Get some aliens. Find me some fucking aliens. That's what. Yeah, exactly. So
the poor
So I
aliens
think,
they find are like some people from Xinjiang, some guy who just spoke a little bit of
Meanwhile-
Arabic and they just fucking grabbed him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, hang on.
here
we go.
This is so there are a couple of
Holy
videos like
shit,
this
bro,
one.
that's a big
but
ass
mate,
robot, bro.
Like, yeah. But mate, look at it. Look at the work it's doing. Look at the work it's cleaning.
Can you make it
everything,
bigger?
cleaning
Like I
walls.
can barely see what it is. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh my.
No, shit. Look at this. It's cleaning the floor,
Damn.
sanitizing everything, wiping the floor. Look at that.
Bro, this is what India actually needs.
This is what we. This is
what Australia needs, bro.
cleaning the shit and the piss that fucking someone could not point straight into the bowl is what we need. This is what we need, mate.
This
Look at
is what we actually need. Yeah, okay.
People
This
don't
is,
aim properly, bro, and this is what we need. Especially for the men's toilet, they're filthy, man. Far out.
Yeah,
Look at this.
Yeah. Especially here, like
Mate,
here,
this is nothing.
one of the.
Check out the other one. I think the other. This one, mate. This is the one. Check this out.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mate, it opens the fucking.
Opens the damn door. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. This one here, mate. Check this out. It's
It's spraying the whole damn
It's all
thing.
water.
Oh,
It's spraying,
bro.
desanitizing everything.
Ooh. Okay. There you go, bro. That I approve of this AI, bro. This is the way AI should be. Like
Look at that. Look at
Oh.
that. Oh my god. It's got different fittings and everything, bro.
And it knows where all the fittings
Check it
are.
out, man. This thing. Look at that. Far
I'ma
out.
clean this place up. Do you think
I can,
there's a
it's
song
like-
playing like on its side, like
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe there's like a song. There's a speaker there. It's playing one of those classic old, country style
needs it.
songs.
Na 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 na.
Yeah.
Give it
Nah, baby, give it up. Give it up. Baby, give it up.
It's good. Wait, it holds the damn door as well. Oh, that is
Oh
amazing.
man,
Bro.
like it got out. Like
Do you know which company is actually?
That place.
Do you know which company is actually in charge of building that, or is it not known?
We'll have to look it up, man. I have to look
Oh
it up.
man, I want to
Yeah.
look it up now.
But I
That
think,
is something phenomenal, bro. Bro, that
It is
robot
phenomenal.
needs to be in every single mall. Every single mall needs to have at least 2 of those. Okay, at least.
Yeah,
One-
but I think that the construction of these toilets need to facilitate that. Like these things need to be built in a way. The construction has to make room for these.
I mean that the toilet that was in the video that was fine. I mean that's pretty much the standard
Yeah.
size.
No, but it's big enough. Yeah, but no, it's not. It's one of those disabled toilets. It's big enough for a machine to get in. You see.
Oh, okay, I see.
So
I see.
like if you look at this machine here and this robot here is so big, it's probably carrying water and it's got a vacuum cleaner inside it, or I'm sure it's got liquids inside it. So it's big, it's on wheels, and once it goes down into the vicinity, it needs a room to move and everything. So you see, it's opening the door, but it's not able to get in. So
Yeah,
it's
you're
extending its arm and it's cleaning everything. But in the future, I think if they build toilets to make room for these robots to come in or whatever, it'll do all that for you. No more grout, no more shit on the, no more shit stains around the bowl, no more piss on the fucking wall. So I think public toilets especially need this.
That is one solution I cannot wait to actually be implemented everywhere. Like right now, this second. Like we needed this robot technology like yesterday, bro. That's how much we need it. Some of the places even here in Australia, bro, in Melbourne, is like, oh, bro, you just walk into that place and you're like, somebody,
Nightmares,
know that somebody was not gentle in that area, bro. Somebody just went. I don't care.
Some people just gotta go.
And
some people just gotta go.
Oh,
Because you can understand, a lot of the homeless people, a lot of the drug addicts, a lot of the people who are basically
destitute,
don't have access to, they run in.
They don't give a shit.
And you gotta understand, the other thing is when you're on your second coffee, and you've not had anything to eat all day, and you're just on your second coffee, the kind of coffee they brew in the city of Melbourne, some of it can give you the runs. And
it's really good coffee.
People sometimes,
it's really good.
People
coffee.
you have to understand, there are medication and coffee, strong coffee, and plus, it's like the Holy Trinity.
It's like the antidepressant
medication, lactose intolerance, medication, and your strongly brewed coffee, right? That when it goes inside, these three combined together, it creates it's nothing less than an Oppenheimer bomb going off, man. It's like, the perfect in the bowl. That's where. So, we as human beings, since the Romans, the Romans gave us the gift of, I guess the latrine system or
the sewage system.
The sewage system. So since then, taking a dump in a hole has been kind of culturally the norm, right? So I guess AI, there are sensors now, that auto clean as soon as you leave the toilet and everything.
Yeah, but it's not the same as, bro. It's not the same as having a robot walk in and just go
and clean,
just clean everything and go like,
true,
fresh,
true.
For you.
True. Mate, I have been to some toilets, where the urinals, they now, in the past, every time you used to walk away, it would flush it, water would come down. Now what they do is they have some kind of a fucking blue pad in there, or these urinals where the urine is just standing there. It's standing at the bottom.
Yeah, I know.
It's not flushing down.
It doesn't flush.
And they got tablets and everything. And people say, no, that's a good thing. Like, how can it be a good thing? Like looking at someone else's urine. You walk in there to take a piss, and it's like a bowl of piss at the bottom.
Waiting
and
for
when
your
you're standing and pissing into it,
it'll
you're standing there pissing into
it's like
it.
all disgusting.
It's all splashing everywhere, man. What the hell? That's why I never go there. I always wait for the toilet to clear. I have to actually smell someone else's methane. And I think that's a better trade-off than fucking having all that piss splash on my shoes.
Oh, God.
It's like, what's going on, man? It's all this water saving, all this bullshit. Like, this whole, like, don't get me started. Anyway,
like, where's the hygiene and all this? Somebody will think of the hygiene
to clear a bit of the palate. Okay.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to talk about. I just saw another clip of companion robots.
Oh shit.
And I wanted to show you something very specific out of.
Is that the one? Is that the one where the robot is like talking and she's like, "Oh yeah, I can be a companion robot." Like, what do you think about this? And the guy goes like, "Shut up, shut up." And
and the guy goes like, "Shut up, bitch!" Like the guy, the guy tells her, "Shut up," right? And I'm like, "What the hell?" Right?
That's a misogynistic ass robot.
Yeah, but the thing, right? Now, so we don't have to watch the video. Put the links in the description. The question now remains that behavior with other human beings, which was known to be unacceptable or not the norm or socially awkward or whatever you're going to call it, put it in all that bucket, which is basically not nice, good manners. Anything but good manners and being respectable, no dignity has been provided to the, you're dealing with a robot. So robots don't have dignity. Robots don't deserve respect. Robots don't deserve good manners because they're not human. But doesn't mean that, now people can practice that. If you're like a domestic abuser, A grade misogynist, you're an A grade, some A grade asshole, So like you get that companion robot, you start talking to them in that manner, like, shut up, bitch, go get me a fucking coffee. Is that
Go
what you
get me
do?
a sandwich.
Or like, if it's a man, or if the clip that I saw is obviously a female.
It's a female,
robot.
in the clip,
But what if it's a male robot? What's a male robot?
Can the
It
woman tell
allows
the
you to
male
basically
robot,
live that
"Get the fuck-
fantasy.
Shut up, get out, go
Yeah.
make me a sandwich.
Yeah, go clean the toilet. Go clean the toilet bowl. Go make me a sandwich. Fix me a sandwich. Like.
But bro, maybe
you
for
know-
some people that is a very powerful neurological kind of response. For them to be able to boss around this thing that will do whatever they ask it to do, no questions asked. You gotta understand, in the second Renaissance, in the Animatrix, it was a helper robot that kills the very first human being. All right. so you gotta be careful, like, what kind of robot you and how you treat the robot. Okay, because in the Animatrix, it was the helper robot. It was the domestic cleaning robot that actually kills its owners, for whatever reason.
Yeah, true.
Okay?
True.
So it's always
I think
been.
they were gonna get a new model or
No, they weren't
yeah.
going to replace him. No. They weren't. Oh, were they going to replace? Yeah, I think it was like they were going to replace the model or
something along
like
the
that.
lines.
And then,
but yeah,
and then it just
the good question. Yeah,
it just retaliates and it just
they
kills
kill
the family.
It retaliates and kills the family, and then to save
then it
itself
goes on
or
trial.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Then it goes
And then
on
goes
trial.
on trial, and on the trial they say they're gonna get rid of all those models of that kind.
Then they go on trial and they tell it, "Do you feel guilty?" And it goes like, "No, I'm not guilty." And then they say, "Okay, this whole line, like this entire line of robots, is very dangerous, so we should kill all of them." When they do that,
That
is the
behavior,
catalyst.
that law, that behavior or that law being passed, it makes a lot of sense. You know why? Because the Wachowski brothers, I think, wrote the first and the second episodes. I recommend people to watch the Animatrix, and within the Animatrix, there are these 2 episodes. The
first 2
the
episodes.
second Renaissance, the first 2 episodes, which is 2
the
part,
second Renaissance part 1
first
and 2.
Renaissance, part 1 and 2. And in that one, it's a good short story about what would happen if globally all humans are reliant on robots and mistreating robots, and how robots would evolve to basically retaliate. And in that one, the idea, I think, it comes from pets. If your pet dog attacks you or kills someone, they will put down that dog. So in this one, what they've done is basically it's classified as a pet or a helper or whatever, and they went with that kind of they followed that ideology or that kind of a mindset that, this model is inherently dangerous. It can kill everybody, so let's get rid of the entire thing. So they get rid of the entire line of those models. I mean, tomorrow, if Optimus Prime, which is the new robot coming out from Tesla, killed someone, it probably will be decommissioned. They probably decommission their entire business unit, their entire area within Tesla. You never know.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting. Pretty
They're
interesting.
like, shut it down.
Interesting times
Shut
ahead.
it down right now.
For something slightly different, there is a short movie that has been created entirely using Mid-Journey and Gen 2. What is it? Is that what they call
Yeah.
it?
Runway Gen 2.
And Runway Gen 2. And it's a Pixar kind of a short film. And the first time I saw it, and I was like, what is AI about this? Maybe it's the voice, maybe it's the music. But I found out later that the entire thing was done using AI, not just the voice and the music, even the video. And the guy said someone asked in the comments that, hey, this is really great. How long did it take you to put it together? He said 10 days. One man, 10 days, did a short film. And
that's with currently
astonishing.
available technology, right? So it's technology that right now
Yeah.
can do this immediately at this stage.
Yeah.
So if you are even slightly artistically inclined,
and it's a 2-minute, 32-second, short film. So we'll watch a few seconds of it just to give people a flavor as to what it's all about. Okay. And he said that I stated making I think he meant I started making a Pixar movie for just $195. Glitch is the name of the short film.
$200.
And yeah, so let's have a look.
Residents are feeling quite charged up as unexplained glitches and power outages run rampant, turning daily life into a comically electrifying experience. Mrs. Ruth Bolt, a 67-year-old resident of the town, was reported saying, "I tried to toast my bread this morning, but instead it flew out of the toaster and stuck to the ceiling. I guess I'm having an upside-down sandwich today. What's causing these electric escapades?"
The dog's not bad.
Not bad at all, actually. I don't want to spoil things for people, so I'm going to switch off the sound for this one. And it's only 2 minutes 32 seconds, so I guess there's a bit of breaking news happening. So before the action begins, I'll probably shut off this, but I think this is pretty good. I mean, this is done. Look at that, man. Very good. Like, very impressive. Look at this. Yeah. Very impressive. Yeah. Pretty good for what, I mean, this is something that's using tools off the shelf, right? And it has been put together.
Yeah, no, imagine if you have
really
like a bunch of people, if you have like 5 people.
Kudos to the guy who put it together.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now imagine if you had like a team of 5 people working for a studio, who have the resources of a studio, who have slightly more than $195, okay? Who have like maybe 10 grand or 20 grand, producing even a short, say something that's about 10, 20, 30 minutes. Not bad. Possibilities exist.
Not bad at all.
It's something that can entertain. Not something at the highest professional
I guess
level that we've come to expect.
It also opens up, I think, the whole YouTube world as well. So content creation is going to go into the 5th gear now. I mean, I guess it's only in the 5th gear. It's going to go into the 6th or 7th gear because of all of this. I could see storytelling becoming a big thing for people in those countries where the budget is just not there. The budget is just not there. The tools are just not there. And there's a massive audience. I mean, in Hindi, Urdu, Vietnamese, Chinese. I mean, there's a huge amount of content, I think, that will be just AI generated in the future. And this is just a taste of it, I mean, but I guess original art will be original. I mean, you can't this can't hold a stick to,
the real stuff. Yeah, exactly.
To the real Pixar stuff, obviously. But I guess it's kind of has given that tool set, that power of visual storytelling, of being creative into the hand of those people. So I think it'll be interesting to see children using these tools, high schoolers using these tools, university kids using these tools to learn filmmaking and all that. So
yeah,
interesting
definitely.
stuff ahead.
Definitely.
On that note, the Nike logo. The last thing I want to end with is the Nike logo.
Yeah, what was that about? I don't even know what that is about.
Yeah, because I think you're into that. I'm into this kind of stuff, So it's a bit. I watch the stock market, from time to time, and there was this clip that I just saw, and I thought I'll share what it is to be someone who creates something, or an original piece of content, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's have a look. It's a shot that I found on YouTube. So.
I know the story behind the logo, that the person was paid like $5 or something.
Nike, and you needed a symbol of the company, and I guess somebody came up with this swoosh. $35 for that?
Yeah, it was a graphic art student at Portland State who needed money.
Okay.
And we said, we'll pay you $2 an hour to practice, to get some designs. And she spent 17 and a half hours on that.
Wow. Okay. Well, so $35, that's pretty good. Okay.
Did have a happy ending. I hope you had that.
You gave her some stock.
When we went public, we gave her 500 shares of stock, and she has not sold a single share, and it's over $1 million now.
Wow. You began to
so
build.
Basically, you spent 17 and a half hours on creating a logo. And because the founding members themselves were not loaded with cash, you became part of that, startup.
Yeah,
that startup went on to make all that money.
The story is not as rosy as the guy actually says it. She was paid whatever, $35.
Oh yeah.
Okay. She was paid. No, I can talk about this because I did like some really heavy research into this at some point. It was only after the company went public. And after the company went public, people told the founder that you should probably give this woman like a great deal of money. And the founder was cheaper. He just didn't want to spend money. So he said, all right, you know what? I'm going to just give her...
Tight!
Yeah, he was tight. He was super tight. And if you read that book, the book that he's holding up, right, Shoe Dog, that book it actually it kind of avoids the whole subject matter altogether. But the actual story is that this guy, he was basically pressured by his board to acknowledge that this graphic designer gave Nike its identity.
I'm surprised the board actually pushed him to.
The board did it.
To compensate
The board did it because the board was worried that if they go public and this news comes out that a big multi-million-dollar company like Nike just paid somebody $35 for their most iconic logo, and that was it, and they didn't actually care about the worker basically. And this was like an era when this was like a time when companies used to generally give a shit about their workers. If that came out, then the IPO will completely tank. That's what they were thinking. So it wasn't because they were doing it out of the niceness of their heart. They were doing it just so that the stock market price wouldn't collapse like immediately. So that's the complete story behind that logo.
But $1 million for a logo, do you think that's good money?
Oh, bro, it's
in today's world.
It's today in today's world, $1 million for $1 million for a company that is going to make billions of dollars is nothing.
No, I mean from a graphic artist perspective, is that good money? $1 million to make a logo.
It's amazing, yeah. From a graphic artist perspective, yeah. I mean, I'll give you an example, right? In the 70s, Paul Rand, who was arguably one of the best graphic designers of his time, who designed the logo for IBM. He designed the logo for Next Computers. I don't know if he designed the Apple logo or not, the modern Apple logo, with the little bite out of it and everything. I don't know if he designed it or if was it an internal thing. But he designed some of the most iconic logos in the history of logos, okay? He would charge, in the 70s, $100,000. In the 70s, he would charge $100,000 for one identity. So... And he had a saying when Steve Jobs went up to him and said, I want the logo to look like this, I want the logo to look like that, and I want the logo to look like this. And he basically told Steve Jobs to shut up. And he's like, look, you're going to pay me $100,000, you're going to get an identity, and you're going to be happy with that identity. And that's it. That was like the end of the whole conversation. So do I think that, graphic designers should get paid a shit ton of money for their logos? Yes, I do. Because the logo designing is a hard job. I mean, I'm having trouble designing logos for our podcast, bro. It's like it's not as simple as just come in to the office, rock in, and draw a bunch of pretty things and pick the one that's great, and then ta-da, here you go. It's not as simple as that.
On that Apple logo thing, have you heard about the bite taken out of it? What actually it means? There's a whole Facebook post that someone posted about it.
It's the leaf
Apple
on the
says
top.
that it's no. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the Apple logo, So I'll show you.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So while we're at logos, why don't we have a look at this one as well? So the iconic Apple logo, right? There's a leaf on the top, right? And there's a bite taken out of the apple.
Yeah, the leaf is
the bite taken out of the apple. Well, okay, the bite that's taken out of the apple. When Apple was asked about it, some say that it's someone is eating the apple. Someone say that it's actually the bite, BYTE, the bite. It could be that, So there are a lot of questions as to what it means, and is it a homage to something or whatever. But the Facebook post that came out that actually talks about it is basically Alan Turing. Alan Turing, right? The Imitation Game. Movie.
Turing, the guy who created the first computer, arguably.
Yeah, so arguably the first computer. He said that he committed suicide. So when he laced an apple with cyanide and ate a bite from it, and he died. And that's what they're saying, that's what the Apple logo actually means.
Could be.
Could mean. Right?
I mean, the British government was trying to chemically castrate him, so he just had enough, bro. He was like, that's it, enough, can't do this.
He said, fuck it. I'm going out my own way.
I'm going out my way.
All right. I think that will always remain a mystery, because I guess Apple, the company, will never probably want to,
Acknowledge
associate themselves with that kind of a thing.
a suicide. with
And
a-
I mean,
with
look,
an
someone
unalivened.
asked Steve Jobs as well that why the Apple name to begin with, right? He said, well, at that time they had telephone directories, and I wanted a name that would be in the first alphabet, which was A. So A for Apple. Easy as that. Maybe it's just that might be thinking too much about. Like I think the whole theme today of the episode, the show was that we are thinking about all these things that it could be, and maybe all of this means nothing. It just misdirection. And I think the other thing is that sometimes that's what
Sometimes things
someone
are
else
just
actually-
sometimes things are just skin deep. They are what
Yeah,
they
yeah.
appear to be. Sometimes
yeah,
they
and
are.
correct.
There's
Yeah.
nothing deep to it.
There's nothing deep to it, right? So like someone was saying again, I think I read it somewhere last week that why all conspiracy theories originate in government. It's the mistrust.
Exactly.
All the big
It's the
conspiracy theories are
absolute
like connected
mistrust
to
of
government.
Yeah.
It's always mistrust of government. So nowadays people, I had a mate. He used to say to I used to be really deep into conspiracies. Even now, I kind of from time to time delve into them. A friend of mine said to me that Umar, when you look at clouds, Saad, if अगर तू बादलों को भी देखेगा, तू clouds को देखेगा, तो if you actually see things in it, you see fried chicken or you'll see things in it, you'll think it's
Fried
something.
chicken.
In reality, they're just clouds.
Yeah.
There's clouds. You can make up it to be whatever it could be.
Yeah.
Right? You could see someone's face in it or whatever.
It's like
but
all those
ultimately,
Pixar movies,
it's
right?
just
That you see where two characters are like
Yeah.
lying down on the grass, and they see like they basically see like in Up, the girl wants babies, right? Like they're married now. Now the next big thing is to have babies. So when they look up at the clouds, everything just turns into babies. It's like because that's what they see.
Whatever's on your mind will
Whatever's
be
on
in the
your mind is
clouds.
what you see,
Yes,
bro.
yeah.
Exactly.
All right, now time to upload this fucking thing to the cloud. So
Yes.
let's get to it.
Let's get the bots on.
Yeah, so I think it was a very, very productive session for us. So hopefully
It's
next
okay,
week
bro. We
we
don't-
make it again and do not
Yeah.
have any
Hopefully we don't die next week. I hope
social and
I'm
technical
alive.
difficulties.
My son has gone to his daycare again, and this time I did the whole Durood Sharif. I did everything. Okay, I said, Ya Allah, please, whatever. Like, oh God, please protect this little thing. Okay, because when he comes back with like filled with cooties, I'm gonna scrub that little guy when he comes. I'm gonna just take him from like
Man,
daycare,
the
pick
kind
him
of
up like that
stuff
and just dump
put
him
him
into
straight
like
into
another
water,
tub. Then dump him in the water and be like, you shut up and you are gonna get scrubbed and you are gonna be clean before you do anything. You ain't gonna kiss me. You ain't gonna hug me. You're gonna get cleaned first. That's what's gonna happen. Holy
That's
shit.
it, bro. That's it.
I don't wanna
them
fall
all
sick like that again,
scrubbing
bro.
and keep them all running around and keep them all disinfected.
Exactly.
And as they like to say, stay safe.
Stay safe.
See you,
All
man.
right. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye.